Welcome back, learners. In the previous lecture, we were discussing about drawing the beams, column, slabs. Okay, in the different manner. Like for example, you have seen that when you go to the draw option, so you can see in the draw option. So I used to go for the draw, beam, bar column or brace. In that you have so many options. Similarly, when you go to floor also, these are the options. The next one that you can see here is that there is an option called draw links. Okay, now this draw link options, now we cannot able to use this. Okay, the reason why we cannot use is it is with respect to the one that where we go for the advanced analysis part. Like for example, as I already told, when we go for the earthquake resistance design of the structures, so we have the various types of earthquake resistant methods, like using the dampers or using the base isolators, so like that. So when we want to use such kind of dampers or base isolators, we are going to use this option called draw links. Like for example, one of the way of avoiding the earthquake mitigations to the structure is providing the dampers in the middle of the beams, right? For example, when I keep that structure in the elevation mode, you will come to know. Like for example, now what usually they will do is, so you can see that there is a column here. Okay, so now what will happen whenever the earthquake happens, so due to that earthquake forces, so these structure will try to move in the both the directions. Okay, so what will happen, so that time there will be a chances of failure of these columns here, these columns. So that's why what we will do is we will connect these two by a member called what we call it as dampers. And in dampers again you have various types of dampers that let us not discuss, but usually they will provide these two joints with the dampers in the middle, right? In such case I am supposed to use that option what you call it as the draw, and in that you are supposed to use the draw link option. So whenever you use the damper, it absorbs, okay, it absorbs those vibrations, and by absorbing those vibrations it avoids the movement of the structure, thereby safeguarding the structure. So in such case I am supposed to use this option what we call it as the draw links option. And even this draw tendons and draw the design strips, whatever is there, so these two options usually we use it when we want to model any particular bridges. Okay, or especially when you want to model the bridges, we go for the draw design strips options. And tendons either we will use in the bridges, or if you are constructing a pre-stressed structures, so in that time we are supposed to use the tendons options also. Okay, like for example, since you can see here the tendon we have not at all defined anywhere, so any one tendon randomly I can choose. You can see here there is only one tendon, so I can draw like this. Okay, you can see that from here to here I have drawn the tendon. Okay, or for example you can see if I go to draw tendon, okay, you can see the plane offset, that means x also it is 0, y also it is 0, that means I'm going to start from the origin. So therefore if I draw anything, it will directly come from the origin part. Okay, in case if I want to offset this like 10 and 10, okay, if I want to offset this, that means if I want to start from x offset 10 and y offset 10, and then if I enter, so you can see that another you can get it like this. Okay, so this is the origin, so now I have write it for 10 and 10, so like this. Okay, so like this, whatever you want you can draw the tendon, especially as I already told in the pre-stressed one, or in while drawing the bridges we use this tendon option. Okay, so similarly this design strips also, that option also, so we have not used anywhere. Okay, because that is also another option. Okay, you can draw the design strips, so usually we do it for the bridges. Okay, yes. So therefore, so let us concentrate only on this beam column and floors, and links anyhow we'll use. These two also we will use when we go for the next design. So the next you have draw grids, as the name itself indicates. So if you want to draw any grid, okay, so like already one grid is there. If you develop another grid, okay, like already I have defined, when it go to the define option, you can see that either in the define option or in the edit option you have another grid to be defined. You can see add or edit design strips. You can see it is there here. If you define this add or edit design strips, you can use it here. Okay, and similarly if you want to have another grid in the same plan, okay, or in the same view, so by the side somewhere here you can do that. Okay, so that time I have to use that option. Okay, so that time I have to use that option. So that is about these two. Then draw the dimension lines. Okay, so the dimension lines means drawing nothing but the dimension lines. Okay, so this one, wherever you want you can draw the dimension lines. Okay, so then next after the dimension lines, so as usual you have the reference points as well as the reference planes. Okay, reference points means where you want to have the reference points. Okay, so you can see what is the offset. You want it in X, you want it in Y, you want it in Z. Okay, for example, this is the grid line already we are having. Okay, now I want another grid line, right? I want another grid set of some particular dimension. Now after doing that, I can keep this as a reference, and I can say that from this I can have another grid point at some particular distance, like for example 100. Okay, in the Y direction also let it be around 100 inches, and in Z also let it be around 100, and I can give enter. Okay, so it won't come because I have not choose the another grid system. Here it is only G1. If I have another one, then definitely I can do it. For example, I can go to define. Let me check where it is. Not here. I think in edit. Yeah, edit stories and grid system. Yeah, you can see here add new grid system. So for that add new grid system, I can give it as G2. Okay, so by giving it as G2, right, I can give this. Okay, I can give this. I'll give OK. Okay, I'll refresh the view. I'll give OK. Now you can see that this grid system has been designed, or it has been developed. So that grid system, whatever you have done, so that you can draw here. Okay, so that reference points, everything whatever you want you can change here. Okay, so that is that option only we are going to use for that. Okay, yes, so that is what with respect to these dimension lines, reference lines and reference points. So then next you have is draw wall stacks. So that is also again wall stacks is nothing but, so we have now